How to keep growing when nothing feels easy. Life has a funny way of making us feel small sometimes. You wake up one morning and everything that used to feel manageable suddenly feels heavy. The goals you set for yourself seem far away. The progress you thought you were making feels invisible, and you start to wonder, am I even moving forward at all? This feeling is more common than you might think. It's that moment when growth stops feeling exciting and starts feeling exhausting. When learning something new no longer brings you joy, but frustration. When trying harder doesn't seem to make things easier. It's the point where many people stop. They tell themselves they're not good enough, or that maybe this path isn't right for them. But here's the truth. This difficult moment, this uncomfortable place where nothing feels easy, is often where the most important growth happens. Let me tell you about my friend, Sarah. She decided to learn the piano when she turned 30. For the first few months, she was thrilled. Every week brought something new. She learned to read basic notes, to place her fingers correctly, to play simple melodies. Her teacher praised her progress. Her family enjoyed listening to her practice. Sarah felt like she was flying. But then, around month 4, everything changed. The pieces became harder. Her fingers couldn't move as quickly as the music demanded. She would practice the same section over and over and still make mistakes. What used to take her a few days to learn now took weeks. She wasn't improving at the same speed anymore. The joy started to fade. Practice became a chore. She thought about quitting almost every day. One evening, after a particularly frustrating practice session, Sarah sat at her piano and just stared at the keys. She felt defeated. She called her teacher and said, "I don't think I'm cut out for this. I'm not getting better anymore. Maybe I'm too old to learn something new." Her teacher was quiet for a moment. Then he said something Sarah never forgot. "You're not stuck. You're growing in a way you can't see yet. The easy progress is over. Now comes the real learning." This is what many of us don't understand about growth. We think progress should always feel obvious. We expect to see results every day, every week. We want the graph of our improvement to be a straight line pointing up. But real growth doesn't work that way. Real growth is messy. It's slow. It has plateaus, those flat periods where nothing seems to change. And it's during these plateaus that most of us give up, right before we're about to break through to the next level. Think about a seed planted in the ground. For weeks, you see nothing. The soil looks the same day after day. You might wonder if anything is happening at all. But beneath the surface, invisible to your eyes, the seed is doing the hard work. It's growing roots, building a foundation, gathering strength. And then one day, a small green shoot appears. The growth was happening all along. You just couldn't see it. The same thing happens when we learn a language, develop a new skill, or work toward any meaningful goal. There's an initial period where progress feels fast and exciting. Everything is new. Every small step forward is visible and rewarding. But then we hit the middle part, what some people call the messy middle or the plateau. This is where the work becomes harder and the rewards become less obvious. During this phase, you might feel like you're working twice as hard for half the results. You might compare yourself to others who seem to be moving faster. You might question whether you have what it takes. These feelings are normal. They're not a sign that you should quit. They're a sign that you're in the transformation zone, that difficult space where real change is happening. Let me share another story. There's a young man named David who started running. His goal was to complete a marathon. In the beginning, every run felt like an achievement. He went from running 5 minutes without stopping to 10 minutes, then 15. He felt strong. He felt capable. He signed up for the marathon 6 months away and started following a training plan. But around the third month, something shifted. His progress slowed down. Running 6 miles didn't feel much easier than running 5 miles had a few weeks earlier. His legs were tired. His motivation dropped. He wasn't improving as fast as the training plan suggested he should. Other runners in his group seemed to be getting faster while he felt stuck at the same pace. David started skipping runs. He told himself he was too busy, too tired, that maybe his body just wasn't built for distance running. He was on the edge of giving up. But one day, he read something that changed his perspective. He read that the body doesn't grow stronger during the run. It grows stronger during the rest, during the recovery. The hard work creates tiny breaks in the muscle, and the body repairs those breaks, making the muscle stronger than before. The struggle is actually the signal that growth is coming. This idea hit David hard. He realized he had been looking for growth in the wrong place. He was expecting to feel stronger during every single run, but that's not how it works. The difficulty was part of the process, not a sign of failure. He started to see his tired legs and slow pace differently. Instead of thinking, "I'm not improving," he started thinking, "My body is adapting. The growth is happening even though I can't feel it right now." With this new understanding, David kept going. He didn't skip as many runs. He stopped comparing himself to others as much. He focused on just showing up, even on the days when it felt hard. And then, almost without noticing, something changed. One day, about a month later, he went for his regular run and realized it felt easier. His breathing was more relaxed. His legs felt stronger. The pace that had felt impossible a few weeks ago now felt manageable. The growth had been happening all along, beneath the surface, in those difficult days when nothing felt easy. So, what does this mean for you? How do you keep growing when nothing feels easy? How do you push through the plateau without giving up? First, you need to change how you measure progress. Stop looking only for big, obvious improvements. Start noticing the small things. Maybe you're not fluent in English yet, but you understood a phrase today that would have confused you last month. Maybe you're not at your goal weight, but you chose a healthy meal today instead of skipping breakfast. Maybe you didn't write the whole chapter, but you wrote one paragraph. These tiny steps count. They're building your foundation, even when you can't see the full structure yet. Second, you need to trust the process, even when it's uncomfortable. Understand that difficulty is not a sign you're on the wrong path. It's often a sign that you're exactly where you need to be. Your brain is working hard to create new connections. Your body is adapting to new demands. Your skills are developing in ways that aren't obvious yet. The struggle means the work is real. Third, show up consistently, especially on the hard days. It's easy to practice when you feel motivated. It's easy to work toward your goals when you can see progress. But the days when nothing feels easy are the days that matter most. Those are the days that build discipline, resilience, and character. Those are the days that separate the people who achieve their goals from the people who give up. Think of it like climbing a mountain. When you start at the bottom, every step takes you noticeably higher. You can look back and see how far you've come. But when you reach the middle section, the steep part, every step is harder, and you seem to be at the same height for a long time. You're working harder, but the view isn't changing much. This is the point where many hikers turn back. But if you keep going, if you push through that difficult middle section, you eventually reach the top, and the view from there makes every hard step worth it. The same is true for any goal worth pursuing. Learning a language, building a career, improving your health, developing a skill, creating something meaningful. All of these journeys have a difficult middle. And it's in that middle section where your commitment is tested. It's where you discover what you're really made of. I want you to know that feeling stuck doesn't mean you are stuck. Feeling tired doesn't mean you should quit. Feeling like nothing is changing doesn't mean nothing is changing. Growth is often invisible in the moment. It reveals itself later when you look back and realize how far you've actually come. Sarah, the woman learning piano, kept going after that conversation with her teacher. It wasn't easy. There were many days when she didn't want to practice, but she decided to focus on the process instead of the results. She practiced for 20 minutes each day, whether she felt like it or not. She stopped judging herself so harshly. She started to find joy in the simple act of sitting at the piano, even when the music didn't sound beautiful. Months passed, and then one day, almost a year after she started, Sarah was playing a piece that she had struggled with for weeks. Her fingers moved across the keys, and suddenly, she wasn't thinking about the notes anymore. She wasn't thinking about her hand position or her timing. She was just playing. The music flowed through her naturally. She had broken through the plateau. The growth that had been happening beneath the surface all those months finally revealed itself. David ran his marathon. It took him longer than he hoped, and it was harder than he imagined. But when he crossed that finish line, he wasn't just celebrating the completion of the race. He was celebrating all those days when he showed up, even though it was hard. All those runs when nothing felt easy. All those moments when he wanted to quit, but didn't. The marathon was the result, but the real victory was in the journey. In learning how to keep going when nothing felt easy. So, here's what I want to leave you with today. Whatever you're working toward, whatever goal feels heavy right now, whatever skill you're trying to develop, don't give up in the messy middle. Don't quit during the plateau. This difficult phase is not a sign of failure. It's a sign of growth. Your effort is not wasted just because you can't see immediate results. Seeds grow in darkness before they reach the light. Muscles grow stronger through the stress of the workout. Skills develop through repetition, even when each repetition feels the same as the last. Trust that your work matters, even when you can't see the evidence yet. Keep showing up, keep trying, keep learning. Be patient with yourself. Celebrate the small victories. Notice the tiny improvements. And remember that growth is not always a feeling. Sometimes it's simply a choice. The choice to keep going. The choice to try again tomorrow. The choice to believe in yourself even when the path ahead looks unclear. The moments when nothing feels easy are often the moments right before everything changes. So don't stop now. Your breakthrough might be closer than you think. Keep growing, keep believing, keep moving forward, one small step at a time. Because that's what growth really is. Not a giant leap, but a series of small, imperfect, persistent steps in the direction of who you want to become. And one day, maybe not today, maybe not next week, but one day, you'll look back at this difficult time and realize it was the period when you grew the most, when you became stronger, when you learned what you're capable of, and you'll be grateful that you didn't give up when nothing felt easy, because that's when you learned what it really means to grow.